Hello everyone, in this lesson we'll learn how to change the background of an image in Photoshop while keeping the results clean and natural. But before changing the background, let's first understand what layers are. Layers are like transparent sheets stacked on top of one another. Every edit made on one layer only affects that layer and not the others. To better understand this, I duplicated my layer into several layers. Then I used the patch tool to paint over the subject eye. Then I turned the edited layer on and off. Notice that when I hide the edited layer, the original eye was still there because it was preserved on the layer underneath it. This shows that each layer works independently. Now that we understand layers, let's begin changing the background. First, I duplicated my layer twice. Then, I selected the subject using the selection tool. Once the subject was selected, I clicked Select and Mask. Inside select and mask, I first of all refine the hair because the hair is usually one of the most difficult parts to select accurately. So all I did was tap on refine hair. Now, after refining the hair, if you notice, while going back and forth, that's on and off, you notice that Photoshop has automatically refined the hair. Now, there are still some parts that had the background on it. So I used the brush tool to brush around the edge of the part that hasn't been refined yet. After that, I use the brush tool to brush around the edges of the subject. Now this further refined the selection and helped produce a smoother, more natural edges. Once I was satisfied with the selection, I clicked OK and returned to the Photoshop workspace. Notice that what we selected was our subject and not the background. So to select the background, I inverted the selection because I wanted to remove the background instead of the subject. So after selecting inverse, I deleted the background by pressing delete key. Now, if you notice on the layer panel, it shows that the background has been removed from the active layer, but the original background is still visible on the document. This is because Photoshop only removed it from the selected layer. The original background is still available on the layer underneath it. Now we are going to add a new background. So I imported a new background into Photoshop and it automatically appeared on its own layer. I resized it until it covered the entire canvas. Then I used the move tool to drag the background layer below the subject layer. As soon as I did that, the subject appeared naturally in front of the new background because it is at the top of the new background. So now to make the subject blend better with the new background, I changed the blending mode from normal to soft light. Now this created a softer and more realistic blend. Please always know that you are not limited to just one background. You can use different backgrounds to get what you want. You can upload another background to get what you want, just like I did here. I imported a second background to show that you can always experiment with different backgrounds until you find the one or the two that works best for you. I clicked OK, clicked on the layer panel that had the background I just imported and changed the blend mode to soft light like the previous background. So if you can see, we now have two different backgrounds, including the original background. Then you can also change the colors of your background. To change the color of your background, all I did was selected the background layer and I pressed Ctrl U to open the hue and saturation panel. From here, you can adjust the hue slider to create different color variations. Feel free to experiment until you have achieved the look you're going for, keeping your subjects looking clean, natural, and professionally blended. Zooming into this picture, you'll notice that the subject hair is naturally blended to the background we just imported. There is no residue from the original background laying around. So this is how you want your picture to come out: clean, smooth, and natural. In the next lesson, we'll learn frequency separation, one of the most popular techniques for achieving smooth, natural looking skin while preserving skin texture.